Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj. Pranesh Shri Devidasi, anything for us this week?
Well, Maharaj, you know, we still have pending Jai Dwani. There were some words that we couldn't find.
Okay.
I was waiting for Kelly Kadambanana to check if she had find these words. So I don't know if you want to cover that.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's find those
Wait for
words
her.
and solve, let's do our homework and then we'll answer this next time. Let's see the missing words.
Perfect.
And so we'll do the homework first and then be able to say. This is
perfect.
better.
Excellent.
Otherwise you'll be looking now.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then okay, do you have something in something else in mind? I have something in mind if you don't.
No, we want your mind, Maharaj.
I don't think you want my mind. We want the mind of the clean-hearted, pure souls like Shukadev Goswami, like Guru Maharaj, like Srila Prabhupada, like Srila Gurudev. Their minds we are wanting. Anyhow, here we are. And I tell you what I had in mind, because repeatedly also, many things come up repeatedly. We have to face it. When we read, when we hear, we are hearing about faith, we're hearing about Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. And by the way, Shraddha, which sometimes we hear people saying Shraddha. Shraddha is a memorial service for somebody who's passed away. So we do want to try to get the diacritics right in our speaking as well as in our writing, if we're writing things like officially transcripts and things like that. So Shraddha is a memorial festival for someone who's passed away, and Shraddha is faith with a long A at the end and a short A at the beginning. So we hear about faith, we hear about surrender, we hear about offenses, we hear about the holy name, and we hear specifically, okay, Upadeshamritam, Bhagavad Gita. All of these are coming again and again. But also then keeps coming up this, that the Brahma-samhita is Mahaprabhu's conception in a very short space. And yes, we've got the Shikshastakam of Mahaprabhu, and we've got the Upadeshamritam, but the Brahma-samhita, of course, is giving us more detail of where we are living and where we're going. And so the Brahma-samhita we can give some attention to, is what I thought. We haven't, I don't think, covered any of these verses throughout our, however many it is, 50 something you say, Praneshwari, broadcasts back to Godhead, back to Godhead. Yes, it's good to be going back to Godhead, but back to
Bhakta basics number 53 today.
53, back to basics number 53. Anyhow, you know, at the beginning we said, and still I feel it, though we haven't said it for a while, in the beginning I said we want to keep it in the mood of how we had these back to basics broadcasts in Navadip. Not broadcasts then, they were with the devotees. So we would be not in front of the deities, actually. We'd be somewhere where we're all gathering together, and commonly we did it on the middle floor of the Seva ashram beside Govinda Kund. They have broad corridors, and we would be there on the broad corridor, and we'd meet there together, and then we'd go through as we're doing some back to basics, but with the beautiful view of Govinda Kund, of Sadashiva, of Koladeep, of the temple domes, Guru Maharaj's Bhajan Kutir we can see from there. And if we stand up, we can see where is the Ganges. And if it's flooded, you can see the Ganges. But we see the bridge. That setting of Koladeep, we want to keep in our hearts somehow while we are, not somehow, it is happening, while we're doing the back to basics. That it's informal, but trying to be like substantial, covering the basic things for us to know. So let's come to Brahma-samhita. and which means we need to download Brahma-samhita or something similar. Not similar, but actually Brahma-samhita. And Praneshri, that is always very quick on the ball. We don't have Chinmoy Dev with us at the moment, though he has been with us. And he's got some busy favor going on.
Yes, on Saturdays he cannot join us. He joins us now only on Wednesdays because he has this other program at the same time.
Okay, yes, I know he's busy, and it's good he's busy and doing active things there. And he is also converting from tapes to digital, continuing to do that, of videos. So this is also very valuable for us all. Now let me straight away, I'm going to drop into the chat box, chat, verses 29 onwards, once I can find them. Okay, verses 29 onwards. Okay, here is this, and here is that. And does everybody here know? Oh, is it letting you go? Yes. Is that? Yes, I think you do. It is unstable.
Okay. It's a little bit, yes. And Braja Mohini, but I don't see, yes. Braja Mohini just posted.
Just posted?
Yes, the link to the Brahma-samhita.
All right, excellent. And I just posted verses. Oh, right. Okay, so there is a link to the Brahma-samhita. And let me just see. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Okay, just 1 second. Verse 1. And now I'm just going to drop into the chat box also to make it easier, just because I've copied it. Okay, so now you have the whole Brahma-samhita in the box, in the chat box, the link to that, and you have verse 1 anyhow from there straight away, and Brahma-samhita verses 29 to
54.
54. Okay. So let us begin. First of all, it's probably written right there in the introduction to the Gitas, to the Brahma-samhita there somewhere. But I can assure you that Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev both are giving much emphasis to Brahma-samhita, so we know what is Mahaprabhu's conception in a short, in a very short space. And Srila Gurudev very livingly, as well as lovingly, but livingly described Mahaprabhu's discovery of Brahma-samhita. And yes, I know, we read it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can hear, oh yes, he discovered it at the Adikeshava temple, incidentally, in South India, which, if any of you or any of us ever again get the opportunity to do pilgrimages in India, it's a super sweet temple in South India. And the Adikeshava temple, it is still there, and it's probably, I would think, it's exactly pretty much as when Mahaprabhu was there. And it's in the countryside. It is on a bit of a hill, but somehow the mood inside the temple, and remembering that Mahaprabhu was there collecting the Brahma-samhita, it's like a very outstanding place on our pilgrimages in South India that we've gone to. But that's a side note. when Mahaprabhu found Brahma-samhita, we've heard Gurudev like very happily describing it, saying, when he saw Brahma-samhita, Mahaprabhu was saying, what is this? This is my conception. This is my conception here in this small book. How is it that this is here? This is so wonderful. So he brought the Brahma-samhita with him from South India, of course, with permission, somehow he, but he discovered it there, all in Leela of the Lord, of course. But Gurudev, like very, I can't imitate Gurudev, of course, but we can try to share what he is, with the way he said it. He's saying, oh, what is this? This is my conception here in this book. And then he brought it. And he said, and Gurudev said he brought it, carrying it in his right hand, and he brought Brahma-samhita in his left hand. And he brought Bilva Mangal's Krishna Karnamrita in his left hand. And he brought these two books to give to the devotees. And he said one was for everybody and one was for the liberated section. One was for the pure devotees. So Krishna Karnamrita, we hold on our heads. I've never heard Gurudev or Guru Maharaj say, you should read that book. So we do hold that on our heads. But the Brahma-samhita is for us. And some devotee said to Gurudev, oh, but the math, Chaitanya Saraswati math, you've published Krishna Karnamrita. And Gurudev said, yes, we published it because it was going out of print. It was getting lost to the world. So to preserve it in the world, we published it in Bengali. Not that we published it and now that every brahmachari and everybody is going to come and read that book. It's, oh, this is Krishna consciousness. That is for the liberated section. Just so you know that, oh, but it's in the Chaitanya Saraswati Maharaj published it. Yes, but published it to preserve it, not for our reading until we are pure devotees. And if we think we're a pure devotee, we're probably not. I mean, what can we say? Hare Krishna. Talking about animated or lively, as we were saying just now, how Gurudev in a very lively way describing Mahaprabhu's like great happiness to get Brahma-samhita, and he gave to all the devotees when he came back to Puri from South India. But also in a very lively way, we've been hearing one talk of Srila Guru Maharaj these last couple of mornings here in the morning program. And we've been hearing the recording. And Guru Maharaj, very animated, very lively, addressing to one of our sweet devotees, who I know quite well. We were together in Navadip, and I was there also at the class, talk, discussion, whatever we may want to say, darshan, yeah, the darshan of Guru Maharaj. Very animated when a devotee is showing some confidence about his own control of his senses and everything. And Guru Maharaj didn't appreciate that too much and said, as soon as we think that we are in control, as soon as we think we are positive, then we are nowhere. Rather, we must always remember we are tiny, we're under the mercy of Krishna, Guru and Vaishnava. And so it's a wonderful talk. Anyway, that's for another day. And we can maybe play some excerpts of that. But Guru Maharaj animated, we can read the transcripts, we can read the books, no doubt. But hearing adds that extra spark. Well, not spark, fire. There's some fiery presentation. So Brahma-samhita is very important for us. Today, let us come to Brahma-samhita because it is wonderful. Okay, that's all I can say. We'll come into Brahma-samhita because it is wonderful. So first of all, we've gathered together, and can we ask our Hindi-speaking person with Sadabuj, and Sadabhuj and Advaita Acharya. And not sure about the other two, but Sadabhuj. Please, can you just mention your good name?
Oh, Maharaj, it's Jayadev Prabhu.
Oh, it's Jayadev.
So
Okay.
Originally, we were going to listen to you on the car stereo, but I'm realizing I can't hear you so well, and I'm so excited about the content that I put on my headphones and I'm separately listening on my own account.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. It's nice to know who's with us. And do you know don't you look at the picture, but do you know in the picture that you posted, in the middle is Sadabhuj, who are the two on each side?
So I don't know, well, Shadbhuj, obviously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Advaita Acharya, I'm assuming, but I'm not sure who the other one is. Let me see.
Oh, don't see, sure. You're driving, come on.
No, she's driving.
Oh.
Who do you think it is, or who is it?
I don't know.
It could be the consort of Sri Advaita, maybe, or I can't tell.
Oh, it's a man.
Oh, is it? I can't see. Oh, it is.
Okay. All right. I thought you may know from the original caption of the picture.
I just love the style of the rendition of Shadbhuj and Advaita. Those are the only two I could understand.
All right. Okay, Jayadev, thank you. And thanks for letting us know that it's you, because we like to know
Dandavat.
that. Yeah, Dandavat Prabhu. Jai Gurudev. So, Brahma-samhita, first of all, obeisances to everyone. Now we know each other, who we are with. So first of all, Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And actually covers everything, is all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. But at the same time, we can be more specific in our family and say, Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And our grandfather, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And Sri Rupa Nuka Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Which means all the acharyas in the line of Mahaprabhu to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat. As we have Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda. That's a whole section of the Gurus. All right. And so, Śrī Brahma-saṁhitā Ki Jai. And here is Charudiri from South India.
My full Dandavat Pranam, Maharaj.
Dandavat. And little Tarun Krishna, not so little. Tarun, you're growing up.
Dandavat.
Dandavat. All right. So let us together come to Brahma-samhita. So Śrī Brahma-saṁhitā Ki Jai. And Śrī Adikeshava at the Adikeshava temple that we're remembering in South India. Śrī Adikeshava Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. So we've all had plenty of time to open the Brahma-samhita by now. So let us come straight to verse 1 so that we get a little momentum in the book. So verse 1 of Brahma-samhita, I think probably all of us, and even maybe Tarun Krishna Prabhu knows this verse. Tarun, do you know this verse? Verse 1 of Brahma-samhita, starting Ishvara Parama. You know or not? Yes or no? No. Okay. So see if you can do some homework before the next time.
Ishvara Parama Satchitananda Vigraha Anadi Adir Sarva. I don't know, very little. Maybe I'll also read it.
Okay, almost. You almost got it. But for Tarun Krishna, little homework for you, okay? Before next, it's Wednesday with you. No, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Before next Thursday, see if you can learn this short sloka. You can learn it easily. You can learn it in a few moments. You're young, good brain. Okay, so the shloka is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Savakarana Karanam. So, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Savakarana Karanam. So, we're going to go through a few verses. So, we don't necessarily have to go through them word by word of every verse, but this one is, it is very straightforward. And the official translation given here is, the Supreme Lord, the embodiment of truth, consciousness, and joy, is Govinda, Krishna. He is beginningless, the origin of all that be, and the cause of all causes. There. So, Brahma-samhita starts from verse 1 to tell us clearly who is Krishna, who is Govinda. And so this verse, the beginning verse, is the invocation to the whole book. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Savakarana Karanam. And actually, it is good if we all say it. And you don't have to turn on the microphones. We'll probably get a little bit of confusion. Zoom may become ecstatic by hearing so many Ishvara Paramas at the same time. So we want to keep Zoom sober. But, Devi Shakti, welcome. Dandabat. There, we've got Devi Shakti. Everyone's got, who's behind the mask? I still can't see because it's too small. A monster's behind the mask. All right. So to all the monsters too. And by the way, now here is the law to wear this out in public all the time, to wear a mask. So we're all getting used to adjusting to the environment. So please, let us all say, just together and slowly, this one verse now. So 3, 2, 1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. All right. Our day is already successful, but we'll make it more successful. We're going to, on this occasion, go straight to verse 29. And because we know, most of us know, verse 2 to 28 inclusive, they are giving some foundation to how it is that Lord Brahma comes to make these prayers. But it is a little complicated in some sense. So for the purpose of our back to basics, actually the summary is, Brahma tried his very best as the first created being in the universe to understand where he is, what is his duty, like the basic question. But he tried for so long. He tried climbing down, he's on the stem of a lotus. He tried climbing down the lotus. He tried everything to find out where he is. It's all dark. Why am I here? What's going on? And only after he tried everything and then he realized, I can't work this out myself. I have to make prayer. I have to surrender. I have to ask. I have to get something revealed. And only when he was like at that very desperate, sincere, hopeless of any other solution, then he got the revelation, revealed truth of what is what and why he is there, what is the universe, where is Krishna, who's made him, etc., etc. Then Lord Brahma, he made these prayers. So this is Brahma-samhita foundation, the foundation of the Brahma-samhita, how it came to be. So now Brahma has got revealed truth, and now he is making the prayers which are revealing to us through his prayers the revelation that came to him, like what is what. So verse 1 is the whole invocation. The Supreme Lord, the embodiment of truth, consciousness, and joy is Govinda, Krishna. He is beginningless, the origin of all that be, and the cause of all causes. Now, if we jump to verse 29, which we will find, we hope, quite soon, on page number, there's 32. Oh, I'm getting pretty close. All right, so verse 29 is on page, physical page 78, and as we're all on the computers right now, the page number is 120, is that correct? Yes, the digital page is 120. But it's the physical page is 78, the page number in the top corner. So are we all there, more or less? Okay. And Narayani Devidasi, Narayani Nadia Devidasi in California. Welcome.
Dandavats Maharaj, how are you doing?
Yes, we're all doing fine. We're reading Brahma-samhita. Please join us.
Beautiful.
Some parts of Brahma-samhita. And in the chat box, there is a link to just the verses we're reading. There's also a link to the whole book of Brahma-samhita, quintessence, scans. And we're just coming now to verse 29. We're reading verse 29, so welcome. So first of all, I'll read the verse and the translation, and then we'll read the verse together. So, Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha lakshavriteshu surabhira vipalayantam lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tammaham bhajami. Actually, why will I read the translation? We can have Braja Mohini Didi. Could you kindly read the translation for us? With understanding, and then we will understand. This is what we try to do.
Surrounded by millions of wish-fulfilling trees in abodes made of multitudes of wish-yielding gems, he who tends the ever-yielding cows and who is perpetually served with great affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, the primeval Lord Govinda do I worship.
All right, so now let us all say together the Sanskrit of this, but you need to keep your microphones off. But those who are not wearing masks, we can see your lips, so we have to hear by seeing in this way. But let us try to chant this verse together. All right, so what shall I say? So slowly together. Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha lakshavriteshu surabhir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra shata sambrahma sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tammaham bhajami. So take your mind back. Take your mind to look at something through our ears. Surrounded by millions of wish-fulfilling trees. Not one wish-fulfilling tree, or two or three, but millions of wish-fulfilling trees. In abodes, homes, made of multitudes of wish-yielding gems. Chintamani, you see, Chintamani. Wish-yielding gem. We don't have anything like that in this world. And so, in the homes are made of that. He who tends the ever-yielding cows. Some of this English can be a little awkward, but it means the Surabhi cows that are giving unlimited milk. He who tends the ever-yielding cows, and who is perpetually served with great affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis. And that means the gopis. The Lakshmis and the gopis are synonymous. So who is served with great affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, not one Lakshmi. Lakshmi, Narayan, that's in Vaikuntha. But here, by hundreds of thousands of gopis, Lakshmis. That primeval Lord, and primeval is an English word, which I don't know how it became, but it doesn't sound nice. But it means the original of the original, the absolute original. But something like primate, from primate, original, but primeval doesn't sound nice. But if anybody can think of another word which sounds sweet for absolutely original, we're happy to go for that. The primeval Lord, Govinda, do I worship? And verse 1, we found out who Govinda is. All right. Let us try to keep these in our mind for today and tomorrow, all the way through until Thursday when we meet again. Actually, let us try to keep them in our mind forever. All right, let us come to text 30. And actually, there's a separate file here, which is just these verses, actually. If you see in the chat box, the first file in the chat box, it'll make it easier to locate the verses, because at least today we won't go through the commentaries on these verses. But at home, where you've got plenty of time, please do at some point. Okay, so verse number 2, and let us start. On my screen, top left is Praneshwari, so Praneshwari Devirasi. Would you like to recite verse number 2, the Sanskrit?
Verse number 30.
Ah, thank you very much. Would you kindly point out the correct verse and recite it in Sanskrit?
Venum quanantam aravinda dalayataksham varha vatamsham vatamsan asitam buddha sudarangam kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha shobham govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. Okay,
very good. And then we'll have Shakira can read the translation kindly. With understanding. Try to understand it as you read it for us.
Yes, Lord. Always playing the flute, his eyes like blooming lotus petals, his head adorned with a peacock feather, his beautiful form the hue of a blue cloud, and the unique beauty and charms millions of cupids. The primeval Lord, Govinda, do I adore.
Haribo. So you see, Krishna consciousness, we are trying to be conscious of this beautiful Krishna. This is what Krishna consciousness is about. It's not a sect or a this or a that. It's such a wonderful aspiration. All right, so as we did with not the first verse, as we did with verse 29, we'll also do this verse. Let us all chant this together, the Sanskrit verse. All right, so slowly together. Venam kvanantam aravinda dalaya taksham barhava Tang sham asitam buddha sundarangam Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha shobham Govinda madi purusham tammaham bhajami. And then just a little revision. Always playing the flute. His eyes like blooming lotus petals. His head adorned with a peacock feather. His beautiful form the hue of a blue cloud. With the unique beauty that charms millions of cupids. The primeval Lord Govinda do I worship. Hare Krishna. So does it sound like a good idea to worship such a beautiful Lord? Yes. Oh, Dayavati is with us. Welcome, Dayavati, from Tijuana, Mexico.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat, Dandavat.
Dandavat Soul.
Welcome. We're just going through the early verses of the prayers of Lord Brahma in Brahma-samhita. Because it's good for us. And because our guardians give so much stress to this small book, as Mahaprabhu's teaching in a nutshell. All right, so another beautiful, we'll do another couple of verses anyway today, because this is so good for us to do. And these, for many of us, we've chanted these like so many times, but we don't want to, again, just take them for granted. We want to stay on the verse and keep it, feel it and keep it. All right, so verse number 31. And do we have a volunteer to put up your hand to read it? Volunteer. Come on, we must have a volunteer. Ananda Vardhan Prabhu. It's the attempt, it's not the perfection of the reading, it's the attempt. So I saw you practicing, so I think you can read this nicely.
Okay. Alo Lachandra Lasat Vamala Vamsi Ratnangalam Pranayake Ikalavi Lasam Shamam Tribanga Lalita Negasat Kala Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Nigaya Pakasham Govindam Adipusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Prabhu, we're very happy to hear from you this verse. Really, very nice. Good, a good, full energy to try to read it nicely. Beautiful. So let us, so Jai Gauranga Prabhu is beside you but hiding. Jai Gauranga Prabhu, could you kindly read the translation for us? And as you know, try to understand it as you read it and tell us that understanding. I mean, give us the words with the understanding at the same time.
Okay, I'll attempt. Around his neck is a garland of forest flowers swinging to and fro, and adorned with a peacock feather locket, his flute held in hands, adorned with jeweled bracelets. He who eternally reveals in pastimes of love whose charming threefold curved form Shamasunda is his eternal feature, that primeval Lord Govinda do I adore.
And how beautiful a description. All right, so we'll go through that description one more time, but after we all say together verse 31. So verse 31, slowly together. Alola Andra Kalasad Vanamalya Vangshi Ratnangadang Pranaya Kelli Kalavilasam Shyamang Tribanga Lalitang Niyata Prakasham Govinda Madi Purusham Tammaham Bhajami. Around his neck is a garland of forest flowers, swinging to and fro, and adorned with a peacock feather locket. His flute held in hands adorned with jeweled bracelets. He who eternally revels, plays in pastimes of love, not only plays, joyfully plays like that. He who eternally revels in pastimes of love, whose charming threefold curved form, Shyamasunda, sorry, whose charming threefold curved form, Shyamasunda, that's the name of that form, is his eternal feature. That primeval Lord Govinda do I adore. Hare Krishna. Very beautiful. So let us keep going, because our life is meant to be for chanting the glories of the Lord, his name, form, pastimes, etc. So here we are getting his name, form, pastimes, etc. happily. All right, so verse 32 and verse 32. Who would like to read? Charu Devirasi. And oh, Charu Devirasi, she can read this, and the South India, this meter is very classic South India meter. Here the Vishnu Sahasranam, right? They're playing everywhere. This same meter, Govinda Mari Purusham Tammaham Bhajami, but it can be much more, I can't say exaggerated, but emphasized. We hear at the different temples, I mean, really we hear it from early in the morning, from 3:30 in the morning. Nowadays, there's loudspeakers. Of course, there weren't in Mahaprabhu's time. But from early in the morning, we hear these recitations. So, Charu Devirasi, our South Indian representative, you can give us in the Pakka South Indian style. And after that, you can feed us all breakfast of idlis and dosa and sambar.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Charu.
Angani yakshya shakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sadujjvala vigrahasyam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
There we are. Genuine South Indian. Appreciate very much, Charu Didi. Appreciate very much. So now we need a volunteer to read the English. And I think Dayavati, you can read in English or in Spanish as you wish, but I think English, we've got it in front of us. So we're all English speakers, and some of us are Spanish speakers here too, as well as other languages.
Yes, Maharaj. Translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
Jai.
Jai.
Wonderful Krishna. We can say, you know, not only is he beautiful, charming, playing his flute, I mean, so wonderful to see, and served in such, and living in such a wonderful place, but he eternally sees, maintains, and regulates, or manifests, it has possibly in the other translation, infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. So don't be fooled by that little boy there. As Lord Brahma, who composed these prayers, or spoke these prayers, as he found out later on in his pastimes, when he saw Krishna playing with the cows, the calves, etc., and he stole the calves and the cowherd boys, but still everything went on as it was before. But that's another story. So anyway, Krishna is so wonderful but he's also the creator and maintainer of all of the universes, spiritual and mundane. Jai. So yes, together. So together now this verse, we heard from Charu, the very good South Indian style. And so let us, let us ourselves try to follow that. One moment, I'm just going to take a sip of water. Krishna, Krishna. All right. So verse 32, slowly together. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiranjaganti ananda chinmaya sad ujvala vigrahasya govindam adi purusham tammaham bhajami. I worship that primeval Lord Govinda, whose form is all ecstatic, all conscious, and all truth, and thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Every part of that transcendental form possesses the functions of all his senses, as he eternally sees, maintains, and regulates infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. And don't worry about any slight differences in translation. Translation is always translation. Original is original. This theme is there. All right. There's more about this young boy called Govinda here. One more verse? Okay, one more verse. We'll read at least one more verse. Verse 33. And who didn't read for us? David Assi, you're hiding from us, but I know you're with us. Could you?
Maharaj, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone, so I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see. Okay, no problem. So you can hear. And what about Narayani Nadia David Assi? Do you have it in front of you? Verse 33 of the Brahma-samhita. Would you like to read?
I don't have a copy in front of me.
You don't. Okay, don't worry. Then you can hear, and actually hearing is our process. And Guru Maharaj mentions about reading, that reading is subtle hearing. He says this is also hearing. When we are reading the transcript of the talks of our masters, when we're reading the compositions of our masters, even though we may not be reading aloud, it is subtle hearing. We're hearing their words. So let us all hear, and Praneshwari, back to you. Number 33. Right or wrong? Yes, 33.
33.
I've got to make sure I get the numbers right. Praneshwari is a teacher, so you see, we have to be careful. I've got the number right, Praneshwari, honestly. Okay, number 33 verse.
Maharaj, I would love to have Charu read it because she's teaching us.
Yes.
So instead of me reading, can she read it? I'm
yes,
embarrassed to read
definitely.
in front of her.
We are very happy to hear. Charu Devirasi, you've got yourself an eternal service here to always read Brahma-samhita.
Advaitamachyutamanadhimanantarupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Nava Yauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabha Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
And then Praneshwari Devirasi, you can kindly read the translation.
Okay, all muted. I adore that primeval Lord Govinda, who is unapproachable by even the Vedas, yet attainable by the soul's devotion. He is one, without a second, the infallible, beginningless and endless. He is the beginning, and despite being the oldest personality, He is the beautiful, eternally adolescent male.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. So let us all read this together, but let us have Charu lead it for us. I'll make my microphone mute, and let's have Charu read it for us. And as we did, we'll read it together, but slowly, Charu, so that we can all to keep up with the verse, because it's not so for you it's very easy and flowing. For everybody, it is not always so easy. And
Maharaj, today, I mean, I'm reading, that is because of you. Last time when you came, you gave a small lecture on Brahma-samhita, and today I'm reading this, all is because of you, Maharaj. I mean, without any this thing.
Okay, but Charu Didi, I'm sure I didn't give a lecture.
All credits for you.
We were having some informal Hari Kathar about Brahma-samhita.
Starting from Shishtashtakam, it's because of you. You taught me to read everything like Brahma-samhita, that is because of you.
The book, maybe because of me, maybe, but that is as an instrument, but the verse way it is sung, that is in your DNA, and you hear it all the time in South India. All right, so please, so Charu Devirasi is going to lead us slowly together.
Advaitam achyutam anadhim anantarupam adhyam purana purusham nava yauvaranam cha vedeshu durlabha madhurlabha atma bhaktau govindamadhi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Okay, I have to remember to unmute myself. Beautiful. I adore that primeval Lord. Again, this word primeval. See if somebody can come up with a sweeter sounding word, the primeval. I adore
primordial, Maharaj, primordial.
Primordial, yeah, sounds better. But primordial, I suppose because of Darwin, sounds very, I don't know, something else.
Then ancient.
No. That, I adore that absolutely original. No. Anyway, okay, we're going to go with this for the moment. Primordial, because we hear primordial soup. Oh no. Very distasteful soup. Not tasting nice.
It could be prehistoric.
Could be. Okay, for today we're going to go with primeval, okay? And let's see whether we can come up with something in the course of time. But I appreciate all those suggestions. Many thanks. Okay, translation. I adore that primeval Lord Govinda, who is unapproachable by even the Vedas, yet attainable by the soul's devotion. He is one without a second, the infallible, beginningless and endless. He is the beginning, and despite being the oldest personality, he's the beautiful, eternally adolescent male. Hare Krishna. Well, I mean, this Brahma-samhita, in one sense we think, okay, we can select some verses from Brahma-samhita, but in another sense, we need to select every verse of Brahma-samhita. So for today, we're coming up to, we've 29 to 33 we've gone through, and really every verse, it is giving us a window. Well, actually it's giving us a giant window, but I mean, for us, in a way, it's like giving a window through to another world, like drilling a hole in the wall or something, and then we're getting a little view to another world and getting a glimpse of that. And we should not just like think, oh, we read this book once, or yes, sung this or whatever it may be. But again and again to keep ourselves awake to the treasure that's being given in Brahma-samhita. Yes, I know it's not the only book, but it is a focus, and it's short, and it helps us, especially when people come to challenge us or to question us. I mean, many questions, they are not challenges just for the sake of a challenge. As I was, we don't know what is this and what is that. And especially if we are meeting the public, there are lots of things in the Brahma-samhita that helps us to give an answer so that we can help others to understand that there really is, not only a science, there are those who really know where we live, where the Lord lives, and why we should be living there, and how to go there. This also is coming up, all these things. Where we live, where we should be going, and how to go are all given in Brahma-samhita. Mahaprabhu appreciated it so much. The devotees all appreciate it so much, and our masters all emphasize it. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila... Whatever combination you want to put, they all are emphasizing this beautiful book. Hare Krishna. So today is Brahma-samhita day. Any question from anybody? Yes, Charu, please.
Maharaj, actually Brahma, he was so much, he wrote this all shlokas, but why in Krishna Leela, he did like, there is a Leela of Brahma in Krishna Leela. Why that happened? In spite of knowing that Govinda is the supreme personality, everything. So,
also, okay, good question. And also one of the greater charges in our line, because we are in the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. I mean, this is the definition of our line. Krishna to Brahma. Then Brahma is the head of our Sampradaya, our line. And at least one of the greater charges in our line, he couldn't accept this point that you are saying. He couldn't accept, how could it be? Oh, we don't want to tell the public about this. Oh, the Brahma became illusioned. But Guru Maharaj pointed out that actually everything is there for Leela, for pastimes. And so not to, don't tell anybody that Brahma became illusioned, but rather this happened even to Lord Brahma, that he was bewildered by, just overcome fully by Krishna's everything, his great simplicity, his wonder, and all these things. And it was for a purpose, to show, and of course, many purposes by one event. That's another thing. So it's not, what I'm saying, this is everything. But we also have this to show that even the head of our Sampradaya, who had revealed truth, he becomes puzzled by this whole matter. And so we never will think we are beyond Krishna putting us into illusion, because how is he put in illusion? It's Krishna's wish. So, and his illusion, it was an innocent, guilty but innocent illusion, if you like. He stole the cows and calves. It's not a good idea to go around stealing people's cows and, the calves and the cowherd boys, He stole the calves and the cowherd boys. It's not a good idea to do that. Government won't like you. Oh, you stole the cowherd boys and calves from our village. But it's innocent in another way, as you understand. And all of this, it is part of Leela. So it is worshipable to us. And what it has produced also in Bhagavatam, again, prayers by Brahma to Krishna after he's stolen the cows, after he saw what happened, returned the cows. There's a chapter of the prayers of Lord Brahma to Krishna, which again, so wonderful and nourishing for us. So these things come about all with some purpose. And those prayers, we wouldn't have heard those prayers if he hadn't stolen the cows and come back in a humbled position. Hare Krishna, many wonderful things. Yes, Deva Predidi, a hand, I see your digital hand.
Yes, Maharaj, Narayani and I, we have a question. We're talking today and she was asking me, why are we audiating privately while chanting Gayatri mantra and covering our hands while doing that?
Okay. So this has been explained. Guru Maharaj told that okay, maybe everybody knows what I'm going to say, but I can say only what I know, what I've heard. And Guru Maharaj told, the Maha Mantra and the holy name of the Lord is for everyone, everywhere. It can be heard, chanted, in the mind, outside, sung, shouted. There's no hard and fast rules for chanting the name. But the Gayatri mantras, they are coming for those who have some qualification, some pre-qualification. You see, the Gayatri mantra is not given without someone having some sense control and being somewhat established in the faith and practice of chanting the holy name. And that the Gayatri mantras are meditation mantras. And so you see throughout the Gayatri, it is saying, I meditate upon this, I meditate upon this. And so I can simply say this, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev have told us, not only we don't make it allowed, but the instruction that we received at the time of initiation was we don't even move our lip or tongue, in that it's meditation inside. So I can only say that this, why? Because our gurus have given us this instruction and direction. And if somebody knows, out of you who are with us here, there is something about some different, the mantras have some different categories. And I don't know the technical categories, I'm afraid, Deva Predidi. But these mantras, we know from our masters that they're not for giving out aloud, they are for our chanting. And as a private matter, we're not like, I can't say showing off, but showing that we are chanting the mantra. It's our private matter and we are counting that. And generally we will try to chant it to somewhere where we can meditate. And let us actually meditate rather than just try to finish them fast or something before we do something. The Gayatri mantras are a meditation mantra. And as with everything, what we felt when we're chanting Gayatri, when we first received it, and etc., over the years, some different kind of thoughts come to us. And such wonderful things are there. Again, it's not just a sound. We're receiving the mantras. And so we must try to cultivate these mantras in the way that our gurus have given. So I can say our gurus have told us this, that is perfect. But no doubt somebody who knows the technical things can say the technical reasoning why.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering that, Maharaj. This is Narayani here.
Yes, Narayani. Good to have you with us, Narayani, by the way. Very happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Yeah, the question came up for me because I thought I remembered a long time ago, and then also women aren't getting the first couple mantras because it's meant for men. But then I'm around here in Santa Cruz, and then a lot of yoga instructors and musical peoples, they like to sing Gayatri mantra out loud, doing guitar riffs. And, I had to tell somebody, like, you're trying to play guitar to, Gayatri mantra, just like your favorite mantra, but you don't really play in my group of people, we don't even say it out loud. And he kind of laughed, but I've heard that you're not even supposed to hear it be sung out loud, like in such a way.
Yeah, we try to put a filter on our ears when those things happen.
I'm wondering if is there some kind of offense in hearing it?
The thing is, we can't not hear it. It's blared out on loudspeakers in Rishikesh, and when you walk through the different places in India, you hear it again and again at maximum volume or over maximum volume on loudspeakers and things. But we have to not hear it. Even though it's there, we have to not hear it. We only will have in our ear what we've heard from our Gurudev, not what we hear from their tune, their way of singing, nothing at all. Mm-hmm. And another thing I can say is that there was an incident, and I wasn't there, but it is an incident. It is with either Gurudev or Guru Maharaj. I can say for sure, I've heard from authority from proper way that it took place. There is an incident when either Gurudev or Guru Maharaj was giving Gayatri initiation to somebody. And normally there will only be others there, this is the custom, who have Gayatri initiation. If anybody is there, there may be only an assistant, sometimes not even an assistant, just Guru to disciple is giving Gayatri. And I can say my own receiving Gayatri was really very sweet. It was only Guru Maharaj and myself in his room, and Guru Maharaj, in all his humility, he is sitting cross-legged on the floor with the Panchapadwa and the formality things, and he's having me sit in front of him and but in front of him and to the side. And it was very, really, you can say very intimate. It was very sweet. So, I mean, sweet isn't the word, intimate isn't the word, but I don't know what the word is. Anyhow, that we've been there for various times many times when Gurudev has been giving, many times when he's been giving the Gayatri. And sometimes nobody's there, only one of us is there. Sometimes there is several there. But on one occasion, and I've heard this from Goswami Maharaj and Paramananda Prabhu, and I can't say anything else because I wasn't there, but there was a devotee there who did not have Gayatri. And whether it was Gurudev or Guru Maharaj, but somebody said, oh, this person doesn't have Gayatri, but you're giving here the mantra. And then I think it was probably Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj said, yes, but I am giving the mantra. They can hear the sound, but I am giving the mantra to this devotee. Like that, which also helps us understand that with the mantra, he's giving it to somebody. He's giving with that mantra not only what we hear, but the seed, that potency within it. So, what is being sung over loudspeakers and people just, smoking dope and playing their guitars and doing it, which we know they do. It's quite a different thing. True. And so, but we want to not allow ourselves to hear it. We have to just filter it out. And really, Narayani, those people, to mix with those people who have a hodgepodge understanding of what is spiritual life and this, that, and the other, it's not helpful for us, really. We want to try to find some good friends who are devotees and hear those things. The hodgepodge things makes a mess of our own minds and mixing with them.
Yes, it did, Maharaj. I mean, I think my mother used to say that saying Gayatri out loud and not really knowing what it is or getting it from your guru makes you go like a little poggle, or like that's the repercussion. But I don't know if that's fully true or not. So, well, and if you look,
the whole world is puggled. If we mix with the world, we're going to go puggle. So many things.
And then if you look on Google, I'm like, okay, now you can ask Google. That's a joke, Google and Ananda. Why don't we chant Gayatri out loud? Because I forgot for some reason. And then it says that Sadhguru made it okay to say it out loud. And then I talked to this. So I'm just learning a little bit about the yogis and Sadhguru. So, you know, so I'm just like, oh, interesting. Not that I'm taking that as fact, but I'm seeing maybe where they're coming from. So the people that are doing yoga, they're like, oh, we learned this in Tibet. It's, you know, for happiness and success. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not quite sure about that.
Narayani, I know you're feeling you're young, you got plenty of time. Let's look and see what other people are doing. I can honestly recommend, don't waste any time trying to think what the mind is of so many others. The standard you're always going to look to is Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. That's the standard you're always going to look to. So you'll be reading something from this guru or that guru and saying, well, you know, but is that what Guru Maharaj said? Are they right? Oh, they're off the track on this. Oh, they're on the track on this, off the track. But why analyze somebody else? You already know where is the standard. And your life is too short, Narayani. Soon you'll find you're not 21 years old anymore. You're 25. So you'll be surprised. And then you might find you're 30. You'll be even more surprised. And then
I feel like I'm 50, and then I'm around for work, all this, you know, peoples, and then how do I speak to them, and then how do I keep myself straight? So
by remembering Guru Maharaj's direction, Gurudev's direction, and telling them something which is truthful, beneficial, and pleasing to hear, and that truthfulness means to somehow bring them to appreciate Krishna, Mahaprabhu, the holy name, Mahaprasadam, and their conversations. You have to try to think how to quickly bring it into the line of, well, we've heard from really the greatest masters, and take it from there. Anyhow, do your best. You're in the world, and you try your best to introduce Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Guru, the holy name. Do your best with affection. We can't go around being like Srila Prabhupada. We can't go around saying, because he can, but we can't, saying, oh, fools and rascals, and this, that, and the other. We have to approach in another way, as you are doing, no doubt. Yes, Deva Priyadidi has a hand up. Narayani, many thanks. Yes. Deva Priyadidi, you have a hand up, or was it from before?
Oh, it was from before, Maharaj, yeah.
Okay, maybe there's a little button to click. You can put your hand down. Is there? Not sure. Anyway, we know it's your hand, but if you want to put up another hand, I don't know what will happen. Maybe some more hands appear. Yeah, now we can see you, so you can put your hands up. Yes, Shakira, were you asking something or saying something?
Yes, Maharaj. I just wanted to, what came to mind, I'm not sure if it's relevant, but my brother was saying to me over the weekend, we were discussing, and he was saying that a lot of the scripture or teachings and that are under lock and key. So I don't know if that's relevant as to why, you know, when you have a personal relationship with your guru and that, and there's certain information, or when you hear from like a devotee or disciple, is that when you hear the information, you get different understandings from it?
Okay, so one thing is, there are many scriptures that we hardly know about. And we were reading, oh, now you're going to ask me what we were reading. We were reading something, an excerpt here in the class. Keshavananda Prabhu is here, and he, like me, has a notebook, and he keeps various notes inside. And but he has something in his notebook. But then what struck me was Chaitanya, it was Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, there were two quotes, one after another, when Mahaprabhu is teaching to Sanatana Goswami. And there were two quotes that Mahaprabhu quoted. in support of what he's telling Sanatana Goswami. You know, that he gives Bengali, he's explaining something, and then gives a quotation from the scripture. But they were two very, to us, to all of us here, they were very, like, have we heard of that book before? There's something, this something Samhita, and this something Purana. And then we were thinking that just how many kind of scriptures are, you can say, under lock and key, but kept with the Brahmanas. You see, the scriptures were kept with the Brahmanas because the Brahmanas are truthful. I mean, we're talking about real Brahmanas. We're not talking about what it's become in the last, generations to many people. It doesn't mean that there are no Brahmanas in the world. But as everything, generally in Kali Yuga, things become diluted. But the scriptures were kept with the Brahmanas, the truthful persons. So they're not being changed for political benefit for the next generation or something. They're being maintained. So I also wonder, like, where is this such and such a something here, Purana and some other, this, that, and the other that Mahaprabhu is quoting from? Where are they? And they may be just with a handful of persons, like when Mahaprabhu discovered the Brahma-samhita in the Adidevika temple. It may be that, in some place, somewhere, and unknown to the general population, that stream of the pure souls have got under lock and key, if you like, some great treasures. But I can also understand that what you're referring to can also be that what is contained within the scripture, it is not what you see on the outside, but what is inside. And so that's another way that we could consider under lock and key. And that will be, those treasures will be revealed to us. The treasure chest will be opened and the treasures are being revealed to us by Vaishnava, and specifically the Vaishnava, the Guru section. So different ways we can consider that lock and key. But lots of things were very much under lock and key until Mahaprabhu came, and he opened the doorhouse of Krishna, the storehouse, the door of the store of Krishna Prema, which had not been distributed before. So we will consider what has been unlocked and opened, and we'll find that everything has been given by Mahaprabhu. No one has seen such a magnanimous incarnation as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at any time, anywhere. These slokas given by Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, etc. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the highest scripture to see the light of day, taking from all of these very high places and safely presenting as Krishna consciousness. And yes, Chintamani Devirasi, the three things should be, yes, beneficial, should be truthful, beneficial, and pleasing to hear. In other words, well, not in other words, think about it. It's Krishna's own words. This is what we should speak. What is truthful, beneficial, and pleasing to hear. And that doesn't mean superficial, this, that, and the other. It's actually very substantial. So truth has power. And Krishna, sometimes we hear, he is the embodiment of truth. So truth is power. And actually lying, opposite of truth, is called mritya kata in Bengali. It means death kata. It's inviting all bad things. But truth is inviting eternity. So truth, beneficial. It must be beneficial for them, not something materially beneficial, of course. We're talking here about beneficial. Somehow tell them something which is of value. Nothing about being a millionaire or having a Ferrari instead of a Lamborghini or something like that. Nothing about these things of the world, but about devotion, Krishna. Wake up, you're going to die soon. Look at all the people dying around you, my friend, or my work friend. Look, oh, your auntie got the flu. Oh, very sorry, but look where we live. This is the world. But Bhagavad Gita, I read this book, Bhagavad Gita. It's giving us the whole science of life. Anyway, and pleasing to hear. So maybe we don't tell our friends, oh, you're going to die in a few weeks' time and go to hell if you don't chant Hare Krishna, or you don't get your head out of the material world. Maybe we don't start our conversation quite like that. But pleasing to hear. It has to be digestible, not to insult others. And one thing about Mahaprabhu, well, not one thing, many things. Mahaprabhu, you see, he defeated all sorts of pandits and this section, that section, this section, all sorts of people. And classic example, Keshava Kashmiri, who we understand from the words of Chaitanya Charitamrita, like very proud and arrogant and like I'm smarter than everybody. But he defeated him, but maintained his prestige. So again and again this comes up. He defeated but maintained his prestige. Guru Maharaj at a railway station one time, they were at the railway station in India, and Guru Maharaj tells this story himself. And at that time, the station master saw that the sannyasis were there, the Gaudiya mat members were there at the station waiting for the train. But he came up to them and said, oh, such and such a famous sadhu yogi is here. And he says he's Krishna. He says he's Jesus. He says he's Rama, like this. And he's very famous. He's a famous person. Oh. Please, you come and meet him. And anyway, Guru Maharaj kind of more or less reluctantly said, well, okay, you are saying we cannot avoid. And then Guru Maharaj said, so I told to that man, I said, well, the station is not a very good place for a discourse, but just here I see nearby, there's a mango garden. Let's go into the mango garden. So they went to the mango garden. And then that man who's saying, like proudly, I am Jesus, I am Rama, I am Krishna, and all these things. And then he came out, then Guru Maharaj explained, he came out with typed, the typed pieces of paper, which are showing supposedly a certificate from, like certifying by the governor of this province, the governor of that province, this person, that person, that meant to be from very respectable persons, that they're certifying that, oh yes, this person we've seen, we understand he's the embodiment of Krishna and of Jesus and of Rama, etc. And anyway, and then Guru Maharaj said, show me those papers. And he handed him the papers. And then the man said, look, so give them back to me. And Guru Maharaj said, no, I won't give them back to you. I'm taking these to the police station to show how you are using these governors in improper way. You are forging, cheating, all these things. I go expose you as a cheater. And that man was very disturbed and angry. Then Guru Maharaj had some short discourse, and there were many people around. But Guru Maharaj said, but I saw he's pulling back and he wanted a way out. So I gave him a way out. And I said to him, but I think in the past you've had some heart damaging bereavement. And for this, you have taken to this way of life like this. And then that man saw his opportunity to keep his prestige. He said, yes, I was serving the country so much, and my wife, she died with no attention from me and others, and this hurt me very much. I felt cheated, so I wanted to cheat others. So he gave him a way to keep his prestige, to keep his, at least prestige means that not just smashing him into the ground, as it were, or, exposing him and showing, oh, ridicule, but Guru Maharaj giving him an opportunity. So when we are talking with people, we must also be conscious of their feelings. And we are not Guru Maharaj, we're not Srila Prabhupada, but somehow affectionately we want to say things which are truthful beneficial and pleasing. Okay, on Brahma-samhita is all of those things. So on this note, oh, somebody's written a pleasing. Okay, got it. So, and who wrote that? Oh, Dayavati. Yes, okay, Dayavati. Very good. I should have read that first, and then I wouldn't have had to give you a long conversation. But
no, Maharaj, but you gave the full explanation. So.
But we want to be humane and human and humane, and think about ourselves before we. I mean, I think about myself before I came to Krishna consciousness, and when some like odd questions come to us, we must try to think where they're coming from, and very often they're innocent things which come, not challenging, foolish kind of things. So we want to try to do good for others. All right. And our real source of goodness, Jai Srila Bhakti Rockok. Oh, quick question came up. Chintamani, what's the best way to convince random people to take a transcendental book? Okay. If there was one answer to that, Chintamani Devirasi, we'd all be using that, and we'd all be selling unlimited numbers of books. I tell you what, we can maybe use this as the starting point of our next get together. But certainly from my side, I'm way overdue. I do have duties here, and it's not possible for me just now to continue with this. If you want to stay together, that's no problem. Or we can start our next gathering with this as our hook to get us started. And Brahma-samhita. Brahma-samhita, we're not going to leave just on verse 33. Some more verses. Jai, wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Dev ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai, grand Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Srila Sat Chit Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. And our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha. Pakitanam Pavane Vaishnava.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki Jai.
But I'm happy to have the association of you all that we come together and chant Hare Krishna, be happy. Keep your heart simple. Appreciate Gauranga and Guru.
Maharaj, please send dandavats to Italian devotees in Villa Govinda.
Okay, I shall. And any special message from you, Deva Priyadidi?
Oh, tell them I love them so much and I miss them, and they're so fortunate to have you there.
No, I'll tell them the first part of the message, and I'll tell them I'm most fortunate to be here with them.
Okay.
Okay, Deva Priya, and all of you, take care. Hari Hari.
Dandavad.
Dandavad.